So we're with Brian De Oliveira with MNTRA. How are you doing, Brian?
I'm doing really good.
So what do you got to show us today?
Well, we have a lot of exciting news. We've been
I like exciting news.
Definitely, and this is a special one. We've been at it for actually almost 4 years, 3.5 years. We were trying to crack the code in terms of being able to spatially mix, but on another level. And when I'm talking another level, I kid you not, this was like something that was pretty much impossible until just now. What I have here is literally, I can confidently say this, at least for today, the most advanced spatial reverb ever created. And I know it's bombastic to say this, but really it is, because what we're doing here is that we're basically a running fifth order ambisonics. This is the first through and through 36 channel ambisonic IR based reverb. This takes up to 64 inputs, which you can configure in any kind of configuration, 5.1, mono, stereo, you decide whatever you want. And then you can basically, it's also a full-on spatial mixer where whatever you move in space and position, it's actually going to react. And as you can see here also, we have a 3D interface that goes along with it. So as long as you're moving it here, wow, it's one seamless interface. But this is only the beginning. It
certainly looks cool.
And it sounds pretty damn good.
Oh, we'll see.
Yeah, well, so I'll explain a little bit more. You've got controls for each of the channel. You've got a very seamless control where you can set your envelope gain, so you can control with your gain different parameters or other things, as I'll explain later. Then you have 5 buses. Each bus actually is able to load up to 3 IRs simultaneously. So that means
at the same time.
At the same time. Each of these IRs is a globe of 36 channels times 5. So this instance right now is running 540 IRs in real time processing.
So I'm not going to be using my old 2012 Mac Mini.
No, but you can, as long as you have a Silicon Mac, it's going to work because it runs on the GPUs. And this is only taking about 2% of the CPU. So you're not even having to sacrifice anything with your normal sessions, but you can still route everything through and really explore space as an instrument in itself. And that's where we wanted to take this a step further and not just be like...
Let me see if I understand this. So this is going to work, it uses the GPU for the processing. Yeah. So my sample stuff is still being, or whatever instruments I'm using, are still working on the CPU. Yeah. So this isn't affecting that?
Nothing.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So win-win. You can have your cake and eat it as well.
I like having cake and eating it.
And and this is where it gets interesting. You can, with each of the space, you can EQ. You can actually even stretch the sizes of each. Like whatever you imagine, you can do with the spaces. And then with this, you can actually start to feed. Like you can either do separate inputs for each of the IRs, or what I love to do is actually make it so that you're actually feeding the inputs dynamically into each of the spaces, depending on things like their envelope gain, or you want to just cycle through 3 different spaces because you feel like it, and it sounds good. And then you can also rotate the full scene, so that, we're talking about the full 360 scene as well. Yeah. You can totally rotate it, and this is where the modulators come in play. So as you see here, we show 8, but actually you've got up to 32 modulators that could be any kind of LFO or control, and then you see these controls that light up. They actually are able to be modulated in real time to whatever you imagine, or you could just set it to be an envelope follower, so that input 1, say the one singer will actually control the input, the reverb send dynamically as you're wanting to listen to just this track. So it's very dynamic, and if I play something, you can see that the sound, the parameters reacting in real time here, and in here as well, you'll see, actually, when we put them all here in the 3D interface, these are the objects or the tracks being modulated in real time in space. So you kind of get a visualization of the full field, and as you can see here, this is the full ambisonic mixing field that you've got to play with.
Huh. So this is like showing me where the reflection...
Exactly. And even if you want to have different types of settings here, the sky's the limit with this. This is basically, taking the idea of video game technology to really, help to visualize in 3D, but be a connected, cohesive interface. So we have a quartet here singing the Kyrie, and I'll just play you dry and wet just to get an idea. This is being rendered in stereo. Actually, you know what? We will set it so that it renders in binaural, so if you hear it in the headphones, you can at least get an idea of what it's going to sound like.
Yeah.
We'll just reload it. So right now it's resampling and reloading it, everything. So actually, in the meantime, I'll just explain a couple more things.
Okay.
So what I love about this is that basically it's whatever you imagine. Like you can use this as a normal reverb. You could just do sends and put it through and just get a really natural reverb. Or this is where I prefer to use it as an actual summing mixer, a spatial summing mixer, where you put your tracks through. And this is where it gets really interesting.
Kind of like it glues it like the way we usually use reverb.
Yeah, actually, you know, how even like an analog mixer gives you that spatiality.
Yeah.
This does it in its own way, and there's actually something extremely special about this, because as you're resonating these ambisonic fields, you're getting all kinds of resonances and reactions that are just natural, that you wouldn't get normally, but it's basically as close as possible as a real space would be. And there's no weird emulation. This is just like physics that we managed to capture through years of research and development. Okay. And the great thing about this is that you can mix it down. You can go from any format, from binaural to stereo to 714, you know, Dolby Atmos if you want, to a 36-channel AmbiX master. So it's extremely malleable, and the fold up and fold down is seamless. Yeah, we were even surprised that you could do this. Normally you have to kind of remix a little bit when you're changing different formats, but because of the way the IRs work, they're basically, are almost like a sonic glue that just makes everything work and sound pretty damn good. So yeah, I'll just play you a quick wet and dry of this quartet. So yeah. So here's dry, just to give you an idea of what it sounds like.
Okay.
And then here it is wet.
Whoa.
And dry. And wet.
Wow, that's really something.
And as you can see, actually, this is where you're seeing all the objects or tracks actually of the singers being moved around. And if you want to, you can take this and also start using it and panning it around, and you have a seamless control. So we try to make it as intuitive as we could.
Yeah. That is, I love that interface, and it definitely sounds amazing.
Thank you.